One of the greatest moments of my life was when I made my first sale. And there's two responses that you can give me to this. Either your life is super boring, so that's why this is that great, or if you've actually done it, you can back this up. Because it all starts with the first. So when I first started my business, the goal was, how can I make this super worth it for the customer? And the way I went about it was to overpromise, but then over-deliver. And I remember I originally got that concept from one of Grant Cardone's books. But the reason I didn't go the way that most people do it, which is under-promise and then over-deliver, is because that's how everyone does it. And if this is your business, or you get some control over the thing that you sell, you can throw in some bonuses or do some things as courtesy to really over-deliver on the over-promise. And if you are selling for someone else, I'm sure you've had a few ideas as to how you can make the offer more valuable. And if you do have those ideas, go to your boss and just say to him, hey, I have an idea for how we can make more money. Can I tell you? And if you say it like that, no boss is gonna say no. So try and make the product, service, or just offer as great as you can. I didn't know about Alex Hormozi at this point, but he says this the best. Essentially, make an offer so good that the other person feels stupid saying no. So that's the first step. Make the offer super good. And after I had my offer, which was window cleaning, I then tried to find how can I make the other person actually care about this. And the way to do that is by giving it an emotional reasoning, because that's the essence of every sale. What feeling am I gonna get at the very end? So for me, people care about their homes. Everyone cares about their homes. So instead of just doing the windows, we also threw in as the bonus the frames as well as the trims around that. So instead of them just getting a nicer view, they also get a nicer looking home from the outside. So now after you have those two things, the emotional reason for why they should buy, and the offer is super good, next is how are you going to communicate it to them? Essentially the pitch. So you'll either do this online or in person. And if you do it online, it's gonna be through advertising. But the advertising shouldn't be to sell. The advertising should only be to draw in attention and make them more curious. And then that leads them to the website, which is where you're going to do the selling. And if you're going to do it in person, you're going to need the pitch. Whether that's cold calling people or knocking on doors or however you're going to go about it, you're going to need the pitch if you're in person. And the website version of this is copyright. We'll also go over that in a bit. So the way that I have my pitch is I always just start off with the intro. Like, hey, how's it going? I'm Issa with X company. And at this point, try and just have a conversation. Go off script, talk to them about whatever. If you like their shirt, compliment their shirt. If you're doing door to door and they have like a funny doormat, compliment that, because you don't just want to be some robot who's there like, I only care about your money. Like, be super genuine, because the thing is, the people who are the most successful are the ones who are always having the most fun. And one thing is too, no one's going to buy from a sad or depressed person. They're going to buy from someone that is happy to be doing what they're doing. So just go out there and try having as much fun as you can, especially in the intro part. And then after that, I go straight into the body. And I essentially just go right into it with, I'm sure you've seen around, we're helping out a few of the people in the neighborhood. In the beginning, I wouldn't recommend this. You would just use fake names as kind of a credibility thing. But we're helping out these people with cleaning their windows as well as the frames around and the trims, because everyone wants a cleaner home as well as a nicer view, especially with summer coming up. So that part is essentially, I'm giving them the reason for why they should buy. I'm giving them the offer, which the windows as well as everything around, and then I'm giving them the emotional reasoning for why it makes sense to buy. Their home looks nicer, they get nicer views, and it makes sense to do it, especially with summer almost coming up. And then I say, if you guys want, I can go around, count up the windows, and give you a quick price. Also, when you're writing down your script, write it down how you actually talk. Don't worry about the grammarly right stuff, because that's for nerds. So after the body, don't go right into the close, just give them a really light proposition, like, can I give you guys a price, or can I show you the options, or something really basic like that, where it's just a really light commitment where they kind of get more of an idea of how it's going to be before they buy. And if they say yes here, that means that there's some interest. There's a good level of interest. So already I know that they're probably going to buy. And then after I go around their home, I count up the windows and I get the price, I come back, and this is more for like door to door, but it can be changed around and played around with for any industry that you're in. And then after I come back, I give them a compliment about something that I actually liked. Because the thing is, if you want to give a compliment to someone, don't give them a compliment on something that you don't care about. Because people can tell the difference between when you're just saying something out of your teeth and when you're actually being genuine about it. And then after the bit of a chit chat, I say, and yeah, so we counted up the windows, it comes out to $200. So then you give them the answer to the really light close, or to the really light question that you asked earlier, like, can I give you a price or whatever you asked? And then you make it super easy for them to buy. And the best way to do that is by already assuming the close. Like, you're already confident that they're going to buy. So then I say, so it comes out to $200, and if you guys want to do it, we're just a bit busy today, but we're coming right back out into the neighborhood tomorrow. And if you guys want, we can do it at about 11, and then once we're done, We'll walk around the home, make sure that everything is done right, and then you guys get to pay at the very end once you're happy. Does that sound fair? And that's how I word my close. And I'm not even kidding, I close like 80-90% of the people I talk to after the light question. If they say yes and there's some interest, there's a good chance of them buying. And this is the best way to go about then closing them. Make it super light, make it super easy for them to say yes to. Or usually at this point is where they'll give you an objection, and then that's where you essentially get to overcome the no. That's the real part of the sales. And I've made another video on this. I'll put it in the description too. And really quick, if you've been enjoying the video so far, if you could please subscribe, that would honestly mean so much, because the goal right now is 1K before summer. So if you could help out with that, it would honestly mean so much. Thank you. And some advice, after you ask for the close, like you ask them, does that sound fair? Just shut up after that. One thing that a lot of people do, especially in the beginning when I'm training them, is after there's like a 3 or 4 second long pause after they ask for the close, they start getting scared. So then they just start talking like, oh, also this, and they keep trying to sell. But after you ask for the close, just stop selling, just let them say yes. And after they answer, then again, stop selling, again, just shut up, grab their info, grab their details, process the sale or set up the appointment, say bye, have a little bit more convo if you guys want, and then leave. And congrats, you just made your first sale. And actually remember, that's how my first sale went too. I first went out, I knocked on like 4 or 5 doors, and then I went on this turn, and then the first home I knocked on there was this one guy, he was super straight to the point. And I remember I was telling him the pitch, and he was like, how much does it cost? And I was like, oh, I can go around and give you a quick price if you want. And he was like, no, just tell me how much it costs. And I ended up just blurting out 200. And it was a bit of an overprice for the home and with the expertise that we had at the time. But the guy, he was like, 1 second. He runs over, he talks to his wife, he comes back, he's like, okay, sure, how long? And I said, we'll pop by in like 2-3 hours. Does that sound fair? The guy was like, yeah. And then we ended up coming back, me and my friend, we cleaned his home, and then the guy was happy with it and he paid the price. And I know I made it sound super, super simple, but that's because it genuinely is that simple. As long as you write the things down, or not even that, but as long as you just go out and you try selling, you're going to get your first customer. One thing is too, your first customer will not be the first person that you talk to. So please be patient, because the thing is, you can't sell to everyone. The goal shouldn't be to turn the no's into yeses. It should be to turn the maybes and the interested into yes. And if you are going to sell online, it's going to be a lot harder, at least in the beginning, because at this point you have no real track record. The other person, they don't see you, so they don't get to really make anything out of you. So it's going to be a bit harder. But the best way to go about it is when you're writing your copy on your website or your sales thing on your website, focus on just making them as certain as possible on you, what you're selling, and essentially the company. Now, I could go on for days about this, and I have on a bunch of my other videos. If you want, again, you can go check them out. I'll put that one video as well as a playlist there for everything sales and everything to help you get better at this and really make your business better, or really just start making a bunch more income from your job. This video is just the main things that you need to know to get your first sale or get your first customer. And that's by making your offer and then making it better, finding a way to sell it, which is either going to be in person, like knocking on doors, or online via advertising, and then bring them into your website. And then make them certain on you, the business, and what you're selling, and sell them on what they actually care about, which is the emotional reasoning. And then after that, just shut up and process the sale and close the deal. And after you make your first sale, I'm not kidding when I say this, it's literally the nicest feeling ever. One of the greatest moments of my life was when I made my first sale. And there's 2 responses that you can give me to this. Either your life is super boring, so that's why this is that great, or if you've actually done it, you can back this up. But if you haven't experienced it yet, I urge you to get to work and at least try once to get this feeling, because it's so nice. And after you get your first sale, or you've already gotten it, if you want to go in the comments and you want to write how the entire thing went down for you, I would love to read it. So I appreciate you for making it to the end of the video. That honestly means a lot to me. One thing is too, if you want to be around more like-minded people, people who are also working on this kind of stuff, you can join a Discord community where you can essentially talk with everyone else in there as well as me. And if you want to, you can also subscribe to the newsletter. It's essentially week-to-week writes about this kind of stuff. And also go ahead and check out issafrag.com. There's a bunch of free courses on there that really are going to help you out on sales especially. All these things are linked in the description. Go ahead and check them out if you want. And with everything being said, again, I really do appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.